Young and the Restless. Next week spoilers, Sally's horror and Kane's confession. Young and the Restless sees Sally Spectra, Courtney Hope, so horrified when she turns up to the big AbbotCom launch party, and also what Kane Ashby, Billy Flynn, confesses to the week of September 8th. We've also got Daniel Romalotti, Michael Grazziti, coming clean to someone. And some stuff with Holden Novak, Nathan Owens and Claire Grace Newman, Haley Aaron. It's all good stuff. Claire and Holden's explosive confrontation. Secrets and blackmail in Genoa City. We're going to start with Claire and Holden and work our way back to the spoiler where Sally gets so shocked because it's huge. As this week ends, we have Claire sick and tired of Audra Charles, Zuleika Silver. Claire and Audra go off on each other this week, fighting in front of Holden. He is playing referee, but he is clearly Team Claire. Audra rolled up talking trash about Claire for having a drink or 2, or 5, with Holden. Audra then said she hoped that Claire went and dumped Kyle Abbott, Michael Mealer, because he is a liar and a cheater. Claire clapped back at Audra because she knows that Nate Hastings, Sean Dominic, dumped her for doing that dirty deal with Victor Newman, Eric Braden, and then lying to Nate's face. Holden on Claire's side on YandR. Audra was also snapping at her ex, Holden, accusing him of using old pickup lines on Claire. Boy, he didn't like that. He was already over Audra and crushing on Claire. Holden told Audra to back off. He's definitely getting in the mix, taking sides. Claire then called Audra the B word, which, yeah, I get it. Audra snapped back at Claire about everyone thinking she's so innocent. But Audra knows Claire's terrible backstory when she tried to poison all the Newmans. Audra said, maybe Kyle should be the one to open his eyes about Claire and not the other way around. Claire's no pushover on Young and the Restless. Audra knows how to scheme, I'll give her that, but Claire is actually the dangerous one compared to her, so Audra needs to watch her back. However, there may also be more to Audra than we know of, maybe something a little dangerous in her past as well. Claire had had enough of Audra. She dropped a final insult and then marched out. Of course, Claire was tipsy, and Holden went chasing after Claire because he had no reason to stick around and talk to Audra, and he really does like Claire. Next week, Holden and Claire are talking in the park about what happened in LA. This is something we've heard about now for I don't even know, 8 or 9 months. The mysterious incident in LA. From the moment we met Holden we heard about this. There was an incident in LA where Holden helped Audra take care of something, and it had something to do with Tucker McCall, Trevor St. John. There was some kind of jam that Holden helped Audra out of while she was with Tucker. Holden is telling Claire about this because she really wants to know what went on back then. Holden says that what he and Audra did wasn't completely legal, which means it was illegal, which means it was criminal. Claire wants to know from Holden if he is trying to protect Audra, or if he's trying to protect himself, or if he's trying to protect both of them. I bet she'll get the info out of him. Will Claire blackmail Audra? Holden tells Claire that he's really afraid she won't look at him the same way if she finds out the truth about what happened. But I do think Holden is going to be honest with Claire about his past with Audra. I just wonder if it's something big enough and dirty enough that Claire could use it as blackmail on Young and the Restless. We know Kyle wants to try and run Audra out of Genoa City, and this info might be enough to do it if Claire shares the information with Kyle once she gets it out of Holden. But Claire might not betray Holden's confidence that way, so Claire might use that info herself. Daniel and Tessa's budding romance. A wedding song and new beginnings. Also, it's been a minute since we've seen Daniel and Tessa Porter, Kate Fairbanks. But they are getting closer. Tessa has already said her marriage to Mariah Copeland, Cameron Grimes, is pretty much over, and Daniel admitted to his dad, Danny Romalotti, Michael Damian, that he has feelings for Tessa. We've also got Danny and Christine Cricket Blair, Laura Lee Bell's wedding coming up next month. And Danny asked Daniel, Michael Graziade, to be his best man. Now, it looks like Daniel might play a song at Danny and Christine's nuptials. When Tessa hears the song, she is floored. She's telling Daniel she can't wait to see how proud his dad, Danny, is going to be when Daniel plays his first song for Danny. It definitely sounds like Tessa might be the wedding plus one. Daniel also tells Tessa that she came up with the lyrics and the melody and turned the chords into something beautiful. Daniel takes it a step further and says, the song is beautiful like Tessa. She seems very touched by Daniel's words after getting ignored by her wife for a while. This is probably really good for her ego. Sally Spectra's AbbotCom launch party sabotaged. Kane Ashby's shocking confession. Alright, now I saved the most exciting for last. Sally has this big 1950s themed launch party, all set up for the brand new company she's CEO of, AbbotCom. She reserved society for the event, and she jokingly invited Billy Abbott, Jason Thompson, to be her +1, even though he and Jack Abbott, Peter Bergman, are the Abbotts in the company name, but she is the boss. Sally made all these exciting plans for the launch party. Decor, food, drinks, everything. She told her boyfriend. So Billy knows how hard Sally has been working to get this all arranged. Then she and Billy are blindsided by something insane that happens next week. Sally and Billy walk into society and kind of announce their entrance. We're here. They're expecting a room full of guests, but nobody's there except for one person. Sally is horrified to see the place empty, not decorated as she planned. It's like somebody completely canceled her launch, and she tells Billy, "Wait, whoa, hold on. Everything was supposed to be decked out. Where is everybody?" Then we see the one guy there. Kane, the culprit on Young and the Restless. Party crasher Kane Ashby is at the bar and says, "Hey guys, glad you both made it. I was starting to get worried." So, obviously he did this. Bear in mind, Kane is hot off the heels of a big argument with Phyllis Summers, Michelle Stafford, who stepped in and ran her mouth and blew this chance he had with Lily Winters, Crystal Khalil. He was making some progress with Lily and telling her he'd stopped the takeover stuff, which is a lie he's trying to sell all across town. Then Phyllis comes in and just makes him look like a liar. Kane's furious. He was yelling at Phyllis. He's more adamant now. He'll never work with her. Plus, Kane doesn't want to be part of an alliance with Victor to target Jabot to take down the Abbotts. However, Victor still has some blackmail he can leak to the press about Colin Atkinson, Tristan Rogers, and said he was conning that lady out of her inheritance. All that we know is that he did inherit, but not how he made it happen. Did Kane snatch up Abbott.com? So maybe Kane has done something to get control of Abbott.com to use it against the Newmans, and to stop them from coming after the Abbotts. We'll see. Whatever stunt he's pulling with Billy and Sally, we're going to see Kane confessing to at least some of this new plan. Young and the Restless are in for a roller coaster of emotions next week, as shocking revelations, tense confrontations, and life-altering confessions are set to rock Genoa City to its core. The spotlight will be on two characters in particular, Sally Spectra and Kane Ashby. From terrifying surprises to heartfelt admissions, the upcoming episodes promise drama, heartbreak, and intrigue that will leave viewers glued to their screens. Sally Spectra's nightmarish revelation. Next week, Sally Spectra finds herself at the center of a horror-filled storyline that could change her life forever. What begins as a seemingly ordinary day at Crimson Lights spirals into chaos when Sally uncovers a dark secret that she never saw coming. Rumors are swirling around town about corporate sabotage, and Sally's curiosity leads her straight into the eye of the storm. According to sources, Sally will stumble upon incriminating documents that implicate someone she trusts deeply. The discovery leaves her horrified, shaking her to her very core. Her expression, a mixture of shock and fear, tells the story of someone grappling with betrayal on a scale she has never faced before. This revelation doesn't just affect Sally personally. It threatens to upend her professional life, her relationships, and her sense of safety. But Sally won't be facing this nightmare alone. Viewers can expect emotional moments as she turns to her closest allies for support. The scenes will showcase her resilience and determination, but the question remains, will she have the strength to confront the truth, or will fear paralyze her? One thing is certain, Sally's storyline next week will be a testament to her growth as a character and her ability to navigate even the darkest of challenges. Kane Ashby's heartfelt confession. While Sally grapples with terror and uncertainty, Kane Ashby is preparing to bare his soul in a way that could change his relationships forever. Kane has always been a man of loyalty and integrity, but next week, he is forced to confront a secret he's kept hidden for far too long. His confession, emotional and raw, promises to bring both relief and tension to those around him. Sources indicate that Kane's confession will involve a past mistake that has haunted him, something that has the potential to hurt the people he cares about most. His moment of honesty is not just about owning up to his actions. It's about seeking redemption and forgiveness. For Kane, this is a pivotal turning point. Fans will see him wrestling with guilt, anxiety, and the fear of losing the trust of those he loves. The scene is set for an emotional showdown, particularly with his closest confidants. Expect heartfelt dialogue, tearful admissions, and a level of vulnerability rarely seen in Kane. The confession isn't just about revealing the truth. It's about opening a path for healing, reconciliation, and perhaps even new beginnings. How those around him react will determine the course of his relationships, particularly with characters who have been by his side through thick and thin. Intertwined fates and high-stakes drama. What makes next week's episodes truly captivating is the way Sally's horror and Kane's confession are set to intersect. Genoa City has a way of connecting storylines in unexpected and explosive ways, and this upcoming week will be no exception. There are hints that Sally's discovery and Kane's secret may be linked, creating a web of suspense that keeps viewers guessing. Imagine the tension. Sally, terrified by what she has uncovered, seeks support and advice, only to find that Kane's confession may either complicate matters further or offer an unexpected solution. The emotional stakes are high, and the writers are clearly setting the stage for confrontations, alliances, and shocking twists. Fans should brace themselves for dramatic showdowns, intense dialogue, and emotional fireworks that could redefine the dynamics of Genoa City's elite. Unexpected twists await. Next week, The Young and the Restless is promising unexpected twists that will keep viewers on the edge of their seats. Sally's horror could trigger a series of domino effects, unraveling secrets that others in Genoa City hoped would remain buried. Meanwhile, Kane's confession has the potential to shock those closest to him, perhaps even altering loyalties and reshaping key relationships. One insider teases that Sally may have to make a choice between exposing the truth or protecting someone she cares about, a decision that could haunt her for weeks to come. Meanwhile, Kane's heartfelt moment may either repair damaged bonds or ignite new conflicts, depending on how others respond. Both characters are facing turning points, and their actions will have long-lasting repercussions on Genoa City's ever-evolving tapestry of drama. Fan reactions and speculations. Fans of YandR have already taken to social media, speculating about the implications of Sally's shocking discovery and Kane's emotional confession. Some predict that Sally could finally confront a long-standing nemesis, while others wonder if Kane's revelation will lead to a major romantic shakeup. The speculation is fierce, and the anticipation is palpable. One thing is certain: next week's episodes are set to deliver on multiple fronts. Whether it's suspense, heartache, or redemption, the storylines promise a gripping ride that keeps viewers talking long after the credits roll. The combination of horror, confession, and intertwined fates makes this week a must-watch for anyone invested in the drama, intrigue, and emotional depth of The Young and the Restless. The takeaway. Next week on The Young and the Restless, Genoa City will feel the tremors of two major storylines that could redefine the lives of Sally Spectra and Kane Ashby. Sally's horrifying discovery promises suspense, danger, and a test of courage, while Kane's confession offers heart, vulnerability, and the hope for redemption. Together, these storylines promise a week of unmissable drama, unexpected twists, and emotional depth that only YandR can deliver. For fans, it's a reminder that in Genoa City, secrets rarely stay buried, confessions are never easy, and horror can strike when you least expect it. Sally and Kane's journeys next week are a testament to the show's ability to blend suspense, emotion, and high-stakes drama in a way that keeps viewers coming back for more. Prepare for shock, prepare for tears, and prepare for a week of television that will leave an indelible mark on both characters. Genoa City was buzzing with tension as the storm clouds of secrets and deceit swirled once again over the lives of its most prominent residents. But nothing could prepare anyone for the explosive confrontation that was about to unfold between Claire and Holden, a meeting that would shake foundations, unravel carefully guarded secrets, and ignite a chain reaction of blackmail that threatened to engulf them both. It all began at Newman Enterprises, where Claire, determined and sharp-eyed as ever, had been digging into the company's records. She wasn't looking for trouble, at least that's what she told herself, but the shadows of her past and the secrets that had followed Holden Novak into her life were impossible to ignore. Holden, on the other hand, had been carrying a burden, a secret he'd hoped would remain buried. But in a city like Genoa City, no secret stays hidden for long. The confrontation started innocently enough, with Claire cornering Holden in the sleek, glass-walled office that overlooked the skyline. Her voice was calm, almost deceptively so. "Holden, we need to talk." Holden looked up from the files he was pretending to sort. There was a flicker of apprehension in his eyes, a rare crack in his usually composed facade. "Claire, now isn't really the—" "No," Claire interrupted sharply, her tone slicing through his attempt at avoidance. "Now is exactly the right time. You've been hiding things from me, from everyone. And I want answers." Holden sighed, pinching the bridge of his nose. "Claire, some things they're complicated. You wouldn't understand." Claire's eyes narrowed. "Try me. Because in Genoa City, the only thing more dangerous than a secret is someone who knows it and uses it against you. Are we clear? And with that, the tension exploded. Holden's first words of confession came reluctantly, dripping with the kind of hesitation that only comes when the stakes are sky high. It's about the Novak family business and the legal trouble my father never told me about. I've been trying to fix it quietly, but... Claire stepped closer, her gaze unwavering. Trying to fix it quietly? Holden, this isn't just business. It's personal. And your silence has consequences for everyone around you, including me. Holden's jaw tightened. He knew she was right. The secrets he had carried weren't just burdens, they were weapons. And in the hands of someone like Claire, they could be devastating. The conversation shifted, the air thick with unspoken accusations. Claire's mind raced as pieces of the puzzle she had been constructing for weeks clicked into place. Holden wasn't just hiding financial troubles. He was hiding something bigger, something dangerous. And the more she pressed, the more she realized how high the stakes really were. Finally, Holden's composure cracked. All right, he exclaimed, running a hand through his hair. There's more. I didn't just hide financial issues. I've been protecting someone. Someone powerful. Someone who could ruin both of us if this got out. Claire's eyes widened, a mix of shock and calculation. She had expected secrets, but this was on another level entirely. Who, Holden? Who are you protecting? Holden hesitated. His silence screamed volumes. I can't tell you yet. Not everything. But trust me, Claire, if this comes out, it could destroy Newman Enterprises and possibly us. The words hung in the air like a guillotine poised to fall. Claire's heart pounded. This wasn't just corporate intrigue. This was blackmail material, waiting for the right moment to strike. She realized that Holden had walked straight into a trap he didn't even know he was in. The trap of her scrutiny, her intellect, and her unyielding determination to get the truth. You've been playing a dangerous game, Holden, Claire said softly, her voice chillingly calm. And you've underestimated me. Secrets have a way of coming out in Genoa City, whether you like it or not. And I have to ask myself, what leverage do I have? Holden's eyes darted nervously. He knew she was thinking in the same way he was, calculating, scheming, trying to anticipate the other's move. Claire, please. If you knew, you'd understand why I did it. I had no choice. I was protecting. Claire interrupted, her hand slamming onto the desk for emphasis. Holden, I don't care about excuses. I care about results. And right now, the result is that we're both sitting on a powder keg. One wrong move, and everything could blow up. Do you understand? Holden swallowed hard. He did understand. And in that instant, he realized that the line between ally and enemy had blurred beyond recognition. Claire had the upper hand, and she knew it. The tension in the room was electric, a dangerous spark ready to ignite the combustible mixture of secrets, lies, and power plays. Then came the inevitable twist, the blackmail. Claire leaned in, her voice dropping to a whisper. Holden, you're not the only one with secrets. And I have the ability to make those secrets public if I need to. So here's the deal, you tell me everything, now, or we both lose. And believe me, I will pull the trigger. Holden's face went pale. He had known Claire was formidable, but the ferocity of her ultimatum shook him. He realized the game had changed. The stakes were higher than ever, and there was no turning back. Minutes stretched into an eternity as Holden weighed his options. Finally, with a resigned nod, he began to speak, the full, unvarnished truth spilling out like a dam breaking. Names, dates, illegal dealings, and personal betrayals, nothing was off limits. Claire listened intently, absorbing every detail, her mind already racing with how to use this explosive information to her advantage. By the time Holden finished, the room was silent, except for the hum of the city below. Claire stood, a victorious glint in her eyes, but there was no celebration in her demeanor. This was war, and they were both soldiers entrenched in a battle of wits and wills. Holden, Claire said finally, her voice calm but deadly, you've just handed me power. But don't forget, power in Genoa City is never static. One day the tables could turn. And when they do, I hope you're ready. Holden nodded, the weight of the revelation pressing down on him. He knew he had been exposed, not just to Claire's scrutiny, but to the precarious politics of Genoa City itself. The confrontation had ended, but the consequences were only beginning. Secrets had been revealed, alliances tested, and a new era of blackmail and manipulation had begun, one that could redefine the lives of everyone involved. As Holden left the office, he glanced back at Claire, who was already scheming her next move. In Genoa City, secrets were currency, and Claire Abbott had just made the most valuable trade of all. This explosive confrontation was more than a clash of personalities. It was the opening salvo in a war of secrets, lies, and blackmail that would shake Newman Enterprises to its core. One thing was certain. In a city where everyone has something to hide, the fallout from Claire and Holden's confrontation was no stranger to secrets, betrayals, and alliances that could shift in the blink of an eye. But when the latest confrontation erupted between Claire and the Newman family, few expected Holden to take the path he did, standing firmly by Claire's side. What began as a quiet storm of whispered accusations quickly escalated into a full-blown clash of wills, leaving everyone in Genoa City questioning loyalties and motives. The tension had been simmering for weeks. Claire had grown increasingly frustrated with the Newman clan's manipulation, particularly Victor's relentless interference in every aspect of her life. The recent revelation that a confidential business deal had been compromised, supposedly by someone on Claire's team, pushed her over the edge. The betrayal wasn't just about money, it was personal. And for once, Claire felt completely alone. Enter Holden. Normally the voice of reason and diplomacy, he had spent countless hours attempting to mediate between Claire and the Newmans, hoping to diffuse the explosive situation. But as he observed the relentless attacks on Claire's character, ridicule masked as concern and accusations thinly veiled as protective measures, something inside him snapped. It started subtly. Holden noticed the little things. The way Claire's eyes would harden in meetings when someone undermined her, the quiet sighs she tried to mask when dealing with the press, and the weight of responsibility that clearly rested squarely on her shoulders. He recognized a kindred spirit, someone who, like him, had been forced to navigate the treacherous waters of corporate intrigue and personal vendettas. The turning point came during a boardroom showdown. Victor Newman, ever the formidable force, had cornered Claire about the recent leak. His tone was sharp, accusatory, and laced with the kind of overbearing authority that left little room for defense. Claire tried to explain, her voice steady but strained, presenting evidence that clearly exonerated her. But Victor was unyielding. "Claire, you've been reckless," Victor declared. "You've jeopardized the company's future. I expected better judgment from you." The room fell silent, all eyes darting between Claire and Holden. For a moment it seemed as if Holden would remain neutral, as he usually did, careful, calculating, unwilling to make waves. But then he leaned forward, his gaze locking onto Victor with an intensity that surprised even him. "Victor," Holden began, his voice calm but firm, "you're making a mistake. Claire isn't the problem here. She's been doing everything in her power to protect this company, and she deserves support, not scrutiny." Gasps echoed through the room. The murmurs of disbelief grew louder. No one in Genoa City had ever seen Holden speak so bluntly against Victor Newman. Even those who knew Holden well could hardly reconcile the measured, thoughtful man with the passionate defender before them. Victor's jaw tightened. "Holden, with all due respect, I know what I'm doing. And I know what's best for this company." "And that's exactly the problem," Holden shot back. "You think you know what's best, but you don't see the full picture. Claire's instincts, her judgment, they've kept this company afloat more times than I can count. You attacking her now, without listening or understanding, is exactly what's wrong with this family dynamic." A tense silence followed. For a moment, it seemed as if the entire boardroom would implode under the weight of confrontation. Then, slowly, Claire's eyes softened, a mix of gratitude and surprise shimmering across her face. She had always known Holden was thoughtful, fair, and discreet, but she had never seen him so unequivocally on her side. "What, thank you," Claire whispered, her voice barely audible, yet filled with a depth of emotion that pierced the room. Holden gave a small nod. "You don't have to do this alone, Claire. Not anymore." The declaration didn't just resonate with Claire. It reverberated through the Newman empire, sending shockwaves of uncertainty. Victor, for all his power and influence, was suddenly facing the reality that even his closest allies weren't entirely loyal to him. If Holden could publicly take Claire's side, anyone could. As the days unfolded, Holden's support became more than just words. He stood with Claire at every critical meeting, offering strategic guidance and publicly defending her decisions. His actions were deliberate, visible, and unwavering, signaling to Genoa City that Claire had an unexpected and formidable ally. But this alliance wasn't without consequences. The Newmans, particularly those loyal to Victor, viewed Holden's stance as betrayal. Subtle digs, hushed whispers, and pointed questions soon followed, creating a tense atmosphere charged with unspoken threats. Yet Holden remained resolute. He understood the risks, but his sense of integrity and fairness outweighed the fear of backlash. Meanwhile, Claire found renewed strength in Holden's support. She wasn't just facing corporate battles anymore. She was confronting years of doubt, insecurities, and the gnawing feeling that she had to prove herself constantly to those around her. Holden's belief in her judgment and ability provided the confidence she desperately needed. One evening, after a particularly grueling day of corporate strategizing, Claire and Holden found themselves alone in her office. The city lights outside cast a gentle glow, illuminating the exhaustion and determination etched on their faces. "Holden," Claire began, her voice quiet but steady, "I don't know how to thank you. All of this, it means more than I can say." Holden shook his head, a small, almost imperceptible smile forming. "You don't need to thank me. I did what was right. And honestly, I've admired your resilience for a long time. You deserve someone in your corner who actually sees that." For a brief moment, silence enveloped them. It wasn't awkward. It was charged with unspoken acknowledgement of mutual respect, understanding, and perhaps something more. They didn't need to define it yet. In that moment, the alliance was enough. In Genoa City, alliances could shift in an instant, and loyalty was often fleeting. But Holden's unwavering support for Claire had already begun to shift the balance of power. It wasn't just about defending her, it was about challenging the status quo, proving that courage and integrity could stand up to manipulation and intimidation. And as Claire prepared for the battles ahead, both personal and professional, she knew she had a partner she could trust. Not just a mediator, not just an advisor, but someone willing to confront the very forces that sought to undermine her. Holden had chosen a side, and that side was hers. In the treacherous world of Genoa City, that choice could make all the difference.